obviously Maeda's a concern.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember, I'm going to use a word that I can't ever remember using with a Daizen Maeda performance, and that word is lazy, Daniel. He looked lazy to me tonight.
Well, on that, Keith, I mean, tons of... Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, sorry. Plenty of positives for Celtic, obviously, lots of them, but Daizen Maeda and Rio Hatate are the two in the comments that are getting it quite tight. Let me run through a few of them for you. Marzuno says Maeda better get used to playing in the right wing for the next few months. Davey says Hatate's an embarrassment. His first 4 passes gave the ball away, a waste of a jersey of late. Big job for Rodgers now what to do with Maeda. Martin says the team looks tired. We desperately need reinforcements. Peg leg Lonergan says Hatate.
That's the problem.
Exactly, aye. But aye, Maeda and Hatate, particularly Maeda, it doesn't look great for them at the minute. I mean, look, I might get stick for this. Neither of them look particularly interested to me.
That's a difficult thing to say, but or a difficult thing to judge. Sorry, not to say. But I'm concerned about Maeda in terms of what you've come to expect from him. You know what you're getting from Daizen Maeda, even if sometimes the quality's not there. You know the effort's always going to be there. You know he's going to cover every blade of grass. I think he shut down the goalkeeper early on in the first half, gave him a bit of a fright. Midway through the first half, it might have been. And that's what you're looking for from him. But I didn't see that dynamic edge to his game. I thought he was lazy, and I thought that's why he got caught offside on 2 or 3 occasions. That's what you don't expect from him. And I think that's a worry. And I think that's why he got hooked at half-time, to be perfectly honest with you, because Brendan Rodgers wouldn't expect that. The one thing you don't expect from Daizen Maeda is a lack of effort or application. And I felt he was guilty of that tonight. And that is a bit of a concern. Where's his head at? Brendan Rodgers has come out and said that he wanted to go as far back as February. If he feels that he's hard done by, if he feels that he's been done a bad turn by Celtic, and this is his response to it, I think that's something that manager will need to work on. Maybe it's just an off night, so I'm not going to come down like a ton of bricks on him, but he hasn't looked the same player. And even when he's not looked quite as effective, I think the effort's always there, the energy's always there, and I didn't see that tonight, and that would be a concern, I think.
Yeah.
But I think he's entitled to the odd bad game. But I think he's had 1 or 2 too many, and then tonight wasn't just a poor game in terms of influence in it. I thought there were moments in the match where I'm thinking you should be trying a little bit harder than that. That's a concern for Celtic. You look at the bench. Obviously, Ian Atchell come on. I thought he did a really good job as a centre forward. Obviously, it's obvious to say he scores the goal, but I think
brilliant finish. I thought
brilliant finish, but I thought in terms of the way that he led the line, some of his movement, the runs that he was making for people, I thought it gave Celtic more of a platform, and that's probably why they found it easier to get up the pitch in the second half. So that's good. But after Ian Atchell, there was nothing else on the bench there for Celtic. I looked at that before kick-off and I thought, that's really light. So, that's not ideal. You could do at least 2 strikers sitting on your bench for these European games. And I think the boy that Celtic brought up from Fulham was
Osmond.
Yeah, he was scoring for the under-19s tonight, or the under-20s, or whatever. The sort of Celtic B team, so he'd been left at home. So that's what I'm talking about. There are certainly imbalances about the squad, but let's not get away from the fact. I think everybody watching this right now, what I said before kick-off, you'll take a 1-1 draw in the opening game away to a place like that, Red Star Belgrade. Of course you would.
Absolutely. There's a wee bit of defence for Maeda in the comments as well. Mark says, love Daizen, but the centre forward position must be the most difficult in the UK. The service is abysmal. Marzuno points out, remember Maeda had his bags packed and a lot of money on the table. He's only human. And GM says, he wanted out. The poor lad is held hostage. Don't know quite about that, but aye, look, I get that, but I agree with you, Keith. I thought it was a really weird performance. It's weird because he's still running, he's still trying, but it just looks like his heart's not fully in it.
I'm going to come back to it. And I don't like using it, but it's the word lazy, and I don't think I've ever used that word in connection with a Daizen Maeda performance before, but that was the impression I got, and I can't have been the only one because Brendan Rodgers saw enough to take him off at half time. And listen, maybe there's an injury there, maybe he's carrying something. Something wasn't right with that performance tonight.